All right, are we ready to get started? Oh man, I was aiming for 9:15 and I went over. It's 9:19. We are definitely going to get started. All right, how's everybody doing this morning? All right, it's good. Always good to see you guys. Our crowd really fluctuates. I feel like sometimes there's like 30 people, and other times it's us core people. It doesn't matter to me though. I always am grateful to see all of you here. All right, let's see. As far as announcements goes, I have to thank Lion Creek for giving us the space. Got to thank Foxtail Coffee for giving us a discount, but thank Russ with Cote Media for flipping the bill. Ron for picking it up. This is really a team effort, people. This morning, Crystal picked up the donuts from Hero, but thank you to for you for that, and thank you to Hero for giving us the donuts. Ryan with Road Ready Events. I'm super. Oh, and of course Casey with Jason Hunter Design. She disappeared. There she is. For organizing and scheduling and doing all the communication things with 1 million cups and everything else that we do. Speaking of other things that we do, so night market is quickly approaching. I think 16 days away at this point, April 12th. I hope it's on your calendar and you're as excited about it as I am. We actually have had a lot of people who have filled out the volunteer form, which is amazing. I might actually get to leave the night market booth and go and enjoy the evening for the first time in 6 years. That'll be awesome. Um, Other things regarding night market though is we are actively seeking sponsorship. So if you're interested, please talk to me or Casey about that. We'd love to share with you what is all entailed in that. We are working really hard to get all of our vendors and bands and everything booked and paid and scheduled and all the things. So there's lots going on, but on the day of, we definitely could use help. So let us know if you're interested. And I don't think I have any other announcements. Does anybody else have anything they want to share before we start? Because my only other announcement would be that Jason Hunter Design and Cote Media are doing a Meta Business Manager Masterclass this Friday, the 29th, at the Chamber of Commerce. And I can't really go into too much detail about that because that's what Russ is going to be talking about today. So come on up. We have a hand. Yeah, but you want to share something? Are you a member of our 1 Million Cups community group? So I actually am just referring to Facebook, the Facebook group, because that would be the perfect place for you to share a link or information about that. So we do have 1 Million Cups Atlanta South Facebook page, and we have the Atlanta 1 Million Cup, the 1 Million Cups Atlanta South Facebook group, the community group. Things and ask things of each other without it being part of like the page itself. Hands, first timers here? Just my friend who's going to the bathroom real quick. So I'll get a notebook to him when he comes back. For everybody else, I see phones kind of going up, taking pictures of the QR code. If you could, please check in. And Russ, if you want to come up here, I'll switch to your presentation. All right. Actually, I had a setup where you grab it right off the stand. I know you're not a stand. Right. Down, no, up one. Down one. Ideally, yes, somewhat close to the mic so that a little microphone will just get up here.
All right. Good morning, party people. Good morning. So I'd like to welcome you to the loudest 1 million copies there will ever be. Didn't say best, it will definitely not be the best. But it will be the loudest. You all got to win at something, right? That's my thing. Okay. So anyway, real quick, my name is Russ Cody, and I started a boutique digital media marketing and advertising firm in 2011 in New Jersey. It has continued here. Real quickly, my business is two prongs. On the one side, we do traditional social media marketing, comments, messages, et cetera, this is standard business shoes. The other side, we do the digital paid advertising spot. That includes Google, Meta, Amazon, Reddit, TikTok, wherever. If it's online and you're advertising, we do it. The third thing that has kind of become a part of my business, although it straddles both of those two that we're going to talk about today, is the Meta Business Manager. So, you were here 2 weeks ago. We're going to do it again, but I want to hear it again. Before I get started, think about it for 1 second. In one word only, blurt them out, no wrong answers. One word, what is the reason, what is the most important reason that you or any business that you're aware of should be on social media? One word. Yeah, good, right. Okay, I heard money a bunch of times, all right? That's correct, actually. I usually do this presentation, don't get the right answer. Well, I do that, there's no wrong answer. But I happen to agree that ultimately the reason any business and business owner should be on social media is to make money. Grow your business, however you want to say that. That is the goal. Otherwise, I don't know why we would waste our time. Honestly, I hate it. Okay? I hate social media. But it makes a lot of money for business. So that's why I do it. In that regard, this particular tool we're going to talk about, that Jason mentioned class on Friday, there's a word that I have to use today, and it is indispensable. The Meta Business Manager, doing it right, making all the connections, it's not an option anymore if you want to grow your business for real. If you want to make money. It's not a luxury. It is indispensable. You guys are the first group, actually, because I'm trying to keep this real short, take as many questions as I can. I have a new little format I'm trying here. I just want to run through a couple of things that you cannot do. But I mean cannot, like there's no other way around it. You cannot do the 3 or 4 things we're going to talk about right now without a fully functioning setup Meta Business Manager. All right? Number 1, you cannot tie your website visitors back to social media and those people's personas without the Meta Business Manager, and specifically without the Meta Tracking Pixel, which they're calling data sets now. Different word, same thing. Meta Tracking Pixel is what allows businesses. By the way, when I say businesses, let me just be clear. This could be a 1-person business, a 2-person business, a 10,000 person business. It does not matter. Okay? Target, Walmart, they all have a Meta Business Manager, right? Solo real estate agent, they need a business manager for the same or similar reasons. It also doesn't matter whether you're selling services or products, okay? Whether you are a lead type of business, where you need people, give you their information, call them up, or whether you're selling products online where people can buy it. Doesn't matter. Everything I'm about to say applies equally to literally everybody, all right? You cannot tie your website visitors back to social media without the Meta Tracking Pixel. You can't get the Meta Tracking Pixel without the Meta Business Manager. All the Pixel does is a little piece of HTML code, goes on your website, picks up your device ID, picks up your IP address, sends that information back to Meta, where they find that person's social media persona. And then allows you as business owner to send content directly into their feed. Who knows what it feels like to have the internet or a business follow you around the internet? This is how it's done. It's not magic. It's not rocket science. But you do need it. The only way to get it is the Meta Business Manager. Yeah. Say yeah? Can I break it down in pieces? Yeah, oh yeah, sure. Don't let me forget. I want you to break here. Yeah, let's break it here. Check this out. All right, so this is a screenshot from the back end of one of our clients. This is called the Events Manager. So you see how I broke this down. Meta tracking pixel, data sets, event spec. The pixel itself is literally like a string of HTML code. There's nothing to show you. It's just code, right? So for the last, 10 years, I get this code, I give it to Jason, Jason puts it on our client's website. Because I don't know how to code. They're like, put code on our website, I'll break the website. Right? So what I can show you is the events manager. This is the data visualization of what happens on the website. This particular client is e-commerce. So over here you see page view, view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase, right? I expanded purchase so you can kind of see. All of this is real people who have visited my client's website. And then the numbers over on the right, the total events there, how many people have done every step in the purchase process, right? Viewed the product, added that product to the cart, initiated checkout, hit the checkout button, and then finally hit the buy now button. Every step of the way. Thousands of people are tracked on the website. The Meta tracking pixel sends all that information back to Meta. So now, that leads us to number 2. You cannot organize and silo people by what they do on social media or your website without the Meta Business Manager. Because you got the tracking pixel now picking up all that people, right? Sends it back to Meta. You have got to have a place to put them based on what they do. So if we go back here, we want a box of all the people that added to the cart. We want a box of everybody that bought. Right? We want a box of everybody. Now, if you think of lead gen, if you want lead gen, we want a box for people that fill out a form. We want a box for people that watch the video you want to watch. We want a box for people that visited this page, that page. So again, all applies to everybody. So you need the Meta Business Manager to create what we call, first, a custom audience. What's a custom audience? Custom audience is any group of people that have a common attribute. What's a common attribute? Common attribute can be anything from behavior they take on your website, social engagement actions, that's like, comment, share. You can silo people off by that. What they do on videos, did they watch 25%? They watch 50%? They watch 90%? Meta shopping behaviors, did they visit your Instagram or Facebook shop? What did they do there? Did they click on a button? Did they just look at it and leave? And if you've got a customer list, an Excel document with emails or phone numbers of people that have done something on your website or with your business, you can upload that to Meta. But again, the only way you can do that is if you have a Meta Business Manager. You can't do it otherwise. I have a little screenshot here of a custom audience. As you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9 is 14 sources of information that you can give to Meta to help you find new customers, which is the most important thing based on what people are doing, which leads me to number 3. You cannot leverage the data that Meta has on 190 million people every month. And they know more about you. Everything creepy that you think they know and more. Okay? It's just something we have to get used to. It's a fact of life. Okay? So, in my opinion, the best thing to do with that information is use it to make more money. Okay? Don't let that data sit there, untouched, unused, unanalyzed. Use it to make money. Okay? So a lookalike audience is arguably the greatest innovation Meta. This guy's making it tough. He's making it tough. He's making it tough. I'm loud, but I know. I like it. He's making it tough. Wow, I'm not used to speaking into a mic because I am really goddamn loud. Oh my God. This is a first. Oh man, that sounds like crap. I sound like crap, not that. The sound is wonderful. I'm terrible. All right. Lookalike audiences. Oh, God. Okay. Lookalike audiences are arguably the greatest innovation, in my opinion, that Meta has ever made. Now, they're the only company that really could make something like this because hundreds and hundreds of millions of people voluntarily turn their entire life over to Meta and everything they do online tell them everything they like, everything they do, everything who they are, where they go, where they shop, what credit cards they use. They literally turned their life over to Meta. Right now, the number worldwide is something like 3 billion out of like 4 billion. Okay. So the next person that tells you nobody uses Meta, you can just slap them in the face. Just slap right across the face. Don't even answer. You're like, dummy. You know that Batman meme, right? Where he's like slapping you. Just, oh, really? Bam! And just walk away. That's all you got to do. Anyway, so lookalike audiences are based on the custom audience that I talked about before, right? A custom audience is any group of people that did something similar. So now, what we do is we tell Meta, all right, look, here's 1,000 people, and they all watched this video for 50% of the video. That's what they did. That's their common attributes. Pick a random one, right? We tell Meta, okay, wonderful. Go look at those 1,000 people. Look at everything they do, everything they spend, everything they like, who they are, where they live, what they do, etc. Slice and dice until we have exactly the perfect avatar of a person. And then go find me at every 1% of the monthly active user population. It's roughly 2.5 million people nationwide. So you find your perfect person, okay, which is a group in the custom audience, and then you tell Meta, go find me 2.5 million more of those people. So think about that. If you can get a group of people who ultimately, what do they want you? What have they done? They paid you, right? We got to get a group of people that have paid you for your service, slice and dice those people up, and then go find 2.5 million of them nationwide. Now, you're saying that's a huge number. It is a huge number. I agree. But then when you run an ad and you only want to do it for people in Georgia, then you run the ad in Georgia, and Meta goes and pulls out the people in Georgia of that 2.5 million and just the people in Georgia. See how that works? It's amazing. This is, again, just a little screenshot of what it looks like to make a lookalike audience on the back end. It's real simple. Take your custom audience, that's at the top. Choose the country, United States. By the way, you can do this for any place in the world, too. All right, so anybody that has any illusions, you want to sell anywhere in the world, no problem. Put any country in the world in that box. And then you make your lookalike audiences. So you can see in the 0 to 1, it's 2.8 million. That 1% basically represents 1% of the total monthly active users in the Meta universe. Okay? So if you take a group of 2 to 4%, that's 5.6 million. If you were to just go from 1 to 10 there, it would be, I can't even do that math. It would be like 50 million, 15 million people, something like that, right? And the other part of the percentages here, just real quick, is imagine a perfect clone of your perfect customer. Okay? Here's your perfect customer, this is who they are. And somebody cloned them. Okay? But they put a hat on them. Exactly the same person, they just put a hat on it. That's what 1% removed from the perfect avatar means. 2% means you put a hat on them and you put gloves on them. Doesn't change who the person is, it's just a little bit different, right? That's 2%. 3% means you put a jacket on them if they didn't. See what I'm saying? Right? Change their hair color slightly, change their eye color slightly. Same person, just a little bit removed. And again, Meta lets you go out to 10%. Now, nobody in this room, collectively, we don't have enough money at all to hit the 10%ers. Walmart hits the 10%ers, okay? However, I'm here to tell you that 95% of businesses in this country will grow every single day to whatever size they want to grow to inside the 1% and maybe the 2%. That's as far out as you need to go. But again, that's 15 minutes. All right, very good. We're almost at the end. Finally, primarily for our e-commerce people, you cannot operate a Meta shop on Facebook or Instagram to sell your products without the Meta Business Manager. That's going to become even more so on April 25th, my little note here. Meta is going to force all shop owners to allow checkout on Meta. meaning you can't click and go to a website to buy a product anymore. You have to let them buy on Meta. To me, that's great, wonderful, because again, I know how to use the Commerce Manager, which is inside the Business Manager, like it's a little mini Shopify, and it's just as user-friendly, and it works seamlessly with whatever website you have, from a product perspective, inventory perspective, shipping, all that. It is all seamlessly integrated, Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, any of them, right? Even if you're on a Wix does it, right? Again, Commerce Manager cannot have it, cannot do it without the Meta Business Manager. Again, little screenshot just to show you what kind of power we're talking about here. This is the overview page of the Commerce Manager, right? Items, product sets, data sources, events, your shops. UGC is user-generated content. Anybody post a picture of any of your products on social media, they're going to collect them right here. Your orders are there. Your returns are there. Anybody disputing anything, all here. Customer feedback, product reviews, questions and answers, payouts, etc. All these things expand. It's a huge product. But again, it is there for a single reason, and that's to make you more money. End of story. And if you use it, you will make more money. I guarantee it. So ultimately, I'm going to wrap this up. If you cannot do these things, if you do not do these things, in my opinion, you cannot make money on social media. You can get lucky. Don't get me wrong. You can get lucky. You can catch a lead. Somebody will message you, right? They saw your stuff. Oh, hey, man, what's going on, right? They bought your product. You could stumble into some sales. That's absolutely true, right? But from a planning perspective, like I want to sell 10% more of what I do, I need X amount more clients per month than I have now, you cannot do it on social media if you don't have these products, period. You can't do it. So then it goes back to the first thing we said. If you're on social media to make money and you don't have it, then what are you doing? Ultimately, I hate to say it, but you are wasting your time, wasting your money. There's no other way to put it. You're just there. And there does not equal business growth. So, all right, my last slide. Sorry. There's a lot more that I can't get into today. These are, all of these things can expand too, by the way. It's a little down hour, right? So there's stuff inside every one of these, but these are all of the services inside the Meta Business Manager, right? And it is, I mean, it's just extensive. It's everything you need is there, right? Now, it's a little daunting. I acknowledge that. So I've kind of developed a product over the years, or a service, you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, where if you are not going to hire somebody or us to do this for you, I will teach you how to do it. From start to finish, every bit, everything we talked about here, I will teach you how to do it with your hands on a laptop, face to face, in a room for 8 hours, and then 6 months of follow-up, because you have not, you're going to have more questions at the end of that 8 hours than you did when you started. So I realize that, and because I can't keep you in a room and keep talking, okay, for 6 freaking months, okay? The 6 months happens in a private Facebook group, and you can ask every question you have, and I will answer every question you have. I will make you a mini expert at the Meta Business Manager, and then after that 6 months, you're going to turn on the jets, and you're going to make money, and in 6 months after that, you're going to come back and tell me, I made money, Russ, every single time. And if you don't, I will take a personal interest in you until you do make money. And that will happen. All right? Thanks. Appreciate it. Every other question? Let me know.
Stay up there.
All right.
So
what can you do for me? I'm going to jump you right there. Right. I heard that. Okay. What can you do for me? Listen to what I'm saying. Take what I'm saying to you seriously. It's not a joke, even though it's kind of funny, right? You gotta believe me. All right? Everybody's free to their opinions, the whole 9 yards. I understand all that. I'm right. I don't know what to tell you. I am right in this regard. I've been doing this for a long time. Literally, since the first day they made the Business Manager. Okay? My little story here is in 2014, before this existed, right? And people that were in my business were doing this, and it was unruly, right? We're creating accounts all over the freaking place. And it was a freaking nightmare. It was out of control. Meta realizes that and says, we've got to make a product, right, to put all this under one roof so people can do this, right? I was lucky in 2014, I had a large enough roster of advertising clients, even back then, that Meta, well, Facebook called me. Their North American director of small business operations called me because they just saw the volume we were doing, and they invited us to test this thing they were making. It didn't have a name, right? So me and an associate in Cote Media, we flew out to Palo Alto at the old building. I have not been to the new building, but I got to go to the old building at Facebook on campus, and we spent 2 days in a room with the engineers and a two-way mirror on a Mac, like using the prototype of this and just telling them where we want stuff and what I would need. I want this here. I need a drop down for this client. And inside there, I want this menu. So, like, that's how long I've been doing this, literally since its inception. Since then, I've lost count of how many clients and how much money we've made because of this. On the other side, I have seen equally as many people not do this and spin their wheels on social media until they get too frustrated to give up. And I hate seeing that, okay? Because your ideas, your business, your work is important. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. So you owe yourself the opportunity to make it everything that you want it to be. It drives me crazy when people don't do that. So what can you do for me? Just trust me when I'm telling you these things, okay? And tell any business owner that you know that you ever hear is struggling, okay? Flat out ask them, are you on social media? Why? You want to make money? Great. Do you have this? And if the answer is no, then you got to tell them to call me. Yeah, that's what you can do for me.
So you keep saying, obviously I'm playing devil's advocate here because we work together. You keep saying, if you're on social media, but the Meta Business Manager, please explain what that encompasses and then talk a little bit about what other social media things exist out there, including Google, okay?
So our class on Friday is specifically on the Meta Business Manager. All right. It's even bigger than social media. Like Google, for example, they're number one, is number two, actually. Google doesn't have a social network now, but Google has a lot of products, right, that are also intended to help your business make money. Now, Google does not have a central location like the Meta Business Manager. However, the way that they do it is a one account theory. So you've got your name at gmail.com, okay? If you set up all of your Google products under the same account, then they all talk to each other. AdWords, Analytics, Search Console, Merchant Center, YouTube, etc. All the products that you bring together under one account then can use each other's data to help your business make money. We do that also. LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a business manager now. They literally call it a business manager, okay? It does almost all of the same stuff that Meta does. It's not quite as extensive because LinkedIn's not quite as extensive. However, it's there, and all the tools in LinkedIn are designed, again, to do one thing, which is help your business grow, right? So you got a page on LinkedIn, you run ads on LinkedIn, you're putting messages out on LinkedIn. All that is housed in a business manager, and there's some things you can't do on LinkedIn without it. So the answer to Jason's question is something akin to this exists for every online service, every digital marketing or advertising product out there. And we're more than happy to help you set up every single one of them. Does that answer what you're saying?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Thank you. And X, what used to be known as Twitter, TikTok, all of them. Yes. Whether they have a business manager or not, the answer is you can advertise there. There's a way for you to spend your money there. And we are more than happy to help you manage that budget and this is to my point, just because this presentation was amazing and your mind is blown about what Meta can do, Meta may not, and you're going to argue with me, which is great. I want that. But I'm just saying Meta may not be where you need to be spending your money. If your audience is all on TikTok, then you should be thinking about TikTok.
But
now,
if you don't have the TikTok pixel, then you're wasting your time, in my opinion.
right, and the same thing goes for LinkedIn. And this is kind of where I'm leading you to argue with me. It's because I agree,
yeah.
But what I'm trying to paint this picture of is how all the social media networks intertwine. So we have this theory that people who spend their business day on LinkedIn are spending hours in the evening on their couch or in bed on Facebook.
Right.
So if you're spending money dropping ads on LinkedIn, but if they're not really converting all that well, but your ads on Facebook are, most likely the same people.
Exactly. It is the same. It is the same people. And that's the point, right? But again, if you don't have the tool, LinkedIn calls it their insights tag. It's exactly the same thing as the meta tracking pixel. It's just the LinkedIn version. Take that little piece of code, you put that on the website, and then, again, you're going to pick them up in an audience both on LinkedIn and on Facebook. So what Jason's saying is get home at work, you're going to advertise to the same people, maybe change a little message, but that's when they're in the buying mood for whatever it is you're sending to them on LinkedIn. Not at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when they're at work, right? But remember, how many times do you have to hear a phone number before you remember it? What do they say, right? 6, 7 times, right? And then you remember the phone number, that kind of thing. That theory is as old as marketing. It hasn't changed here. So if somebody sees your ad on LinkedIn and then they see it on Facebook and then the next day they Google it and they see it on Google, all right, now you're in the running to sell your product or service to that person.
I have a quick question. How easy is this to learn compared to me hiring a company to take care of my Facebook, Instagram?
Your time.
Make the differentiation between management and advertising.
Yes.
Like SMM versus
Yeah, and I think the answer to that is how valuable is your time. There's not a person in this room that I can't teach this to.
But
It's
still, in the long run, I still have to take care of my Instagram. I have to still take care of my Facebook.
You have to listen. You have to sit down and be like, how many hours am I doing this, and this, and this? You owe it to yourself to do a real serious accounting of how long that takes you to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And then ask yourself, how much is it worth for me if I didn't have to do that? And then I could do other things, right, that are important in my business. So the answer is I can teach anybody in this room to do this. I can. But that would have to be worth it in your just general time management. You see what I'm saying? And that's very personal. It's a very personal question. I can't say your time is worth $1,000 an hour and it takes you 20 hours, right? Whereas if you were doing something else other than this, on the outside, you'd have a better chance of making money over there. Whether to turn that over to an agency to run either SMM, I'm saying this is why it's, to me, Jay, it's both, right? To run your Facebook, run your Instagram, social media, the posting, and run the ads. So it's a real personal decision, real personal introspection. You got to figure that out. But I think it's how much is your time worth? Well, it answers that question.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. I mean, as business owners, you have many things that you have to spend your time on. This is one of the more important ones that you need to address because leads. I mean, businesses make or break on the leads they get and their ability to convert those leads. So, absolutely. But to make that decision, you could use a business coach. So we can help you measure that and help you decide how much time you need to spend. But my question actually was, would you dive a little bit more detail as to what's happening on the 25th? And like, what will that mean for like Amazon and like, any shopping that anybody wants to do, just a little more detail on that.
So on the 25th, it is 9 to 5. It is 8 hours with a lunch.
No, the 25th.
Oh.
Yeah. April 24th.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah. So right now, and since Meta shops have been in existence, you can have a shop, and then the button for people to shop would be go to my website, right? Either or, right? Meta, but you can also check out on Meta, right? Like even in the marketplace, right? If somebody's selling, used shoes or something, right? You could go and you can make that transaction through Meta, same as a shop. You can choose to do that. On April 25th, you have to sell on Meta. Your button can't say go to website anymore.
I'll do my Amazon shopping on.
Not Amazon. This is just Meta. The Amazon.
The retailers who sell on Amazon will most likely also have a Meta shop. All this is doing is on Meta shop and not allowing them to provide.
I actually read.
So the clarification there is not changing Amazon.
No, I don't change Amazon at all. This is a Meta, right?
Or this was my distinction that I made by reading. It doesn't affect website sales.
No.
I was in a way
that was my
hoping
question.
that Meta would give me a
Yeah,
button that
I
I
need
can put
more
on my
clarity
checkout
on that.
Right.
website that say, check out with Apple Pay, check out with Google Pay, check out with Meta.
That's coming, by the way, but
I can't imagine it would.
that 100% coming. But no, it's not an Amazon, not an Amazon thing. All Meta. It just means your Instagram and Facebook shop has to accept the buyer's money right there. It's not going to send you to now again. But if you're Joe Buyer, there's going to be a lot of these people, right? They do the research on Meta and they see the name. What are they going to do? They're going to Google it or they're going to just pop it into the browser bar and go to a website and buy anyway. A population of people are going to do that. What Meta's betting on there because they're always playing the long game and they're always winning. Always, okay? Do not bet against Meta. They are playing the long game because in 10 years, people aren't going to do that. Okay, they're not going to do that anymore. They're going to buy on Meta, which makes Meta more money. But again, if we're doing all these things and you're Joe Merchant or B2B, whatever, and you're using all these tools, you're making more money. It's a win-win from a business perspective as far as I'm concerned. Always is.
So my question kind of piggybacks off of what this gentleman was talking about. Since they're pushing for you to check out on Meta, how much sense does it make for you to have a website, or how are you going to get people to your website if you have a website? Is there a way to still have people come traffic through your website?
100%. So the whole first part of like what I said, right, which is putting the Meta tracking pixel on your website to see who goes. At the end, okay, it's not, you don't have to do this, but the end result of what makes all of this data and connection work then is advertising. So now you've got all the data you need to push your particular piece of content, whatever it is that you're selling, okay, back into the person that you know has been to your website and has, by the way, you can make, I should have said, you can make custom conversions here where you could say, I want an audience of people who have both into my website and done something with my Instagram, like comment, share. You can combination, you can pick and choose combos.
So you're casting like a wider net?
What's that?
You're casting a wider net?
That's like refining your audience. And that's saying I want really, really important people.
But for those to come to Meta and to your website, because I'm just confused if you don't have a shop now button on, because now if you hit shop now or whatever, you click it takes you to someone's website.
Right.
So I was confused. How do you get them to the website? Or they'd have to already been to your website to know that for Meta to have your information?
So the ads that I'm talking about.
Okay.
When you push, when you're on your Instagram or Facebook feed, you just see the word sponsored. There's a ton of it, right? That ad can drive people right directly to your website to go check out for anything you want. I mean, to me, a website is absolutely indispensable to making this work.
Okay.
100%. And the fact that Meta wants you to check out there doesn't change that.
Okay.
It does not change that at all. Yeah.
Okay. I have two questions. The first is, I don't know, I should know this answer, but I don't. Is a landing page equivalent to a website? Because I use landing pages. I don't necessarily use a website.
If it's a www.blah.com, if it's a landing page website, I don't know, that's the same thing.
But each time I create a new landing page, it's a new pixel.
You'd have to put, no, not a new pixel, same pixel.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming that, the umbrella for each landing page you use is still you.
Correct.
Then yeah, I would use the same, and I wouldn't even take it off. Like I'd have to understand a little bit more about what you're trying to do here, but if it were me, I would use the same pixel on as many landing pages as you want. I wouldn't even, what I'm saying is that I wouldn't remove
it's like programmed, so it changes. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah. But there's no reason to take it off unless you shut down the landing page. By definition, it'll be off, right? But I would use the same one if the people are generally the same who you're looking for, right? Now if you've got two wildly different audiences, meaning like the people that come here with this pixel are not applicable to this website over here.
Yeah, that's not the case.
Okay. There's a solution for that too. But,
okay. Yeah. The other question is for content creation, that's content versus sponsored ads. Does this work as well? Like if you're making videos and teaching and educating, and that's like
So
does this apply?
My new answer, this is gonna freak you out a little bit. The way that I look at social media as a whole, right, is that you're posting, you're making videos, you're doing that, you're generating engagement, all that kind of stuff, right? The free side of it. They're never going to charge you to post there, all that stuff, all that content. To me, the better you do that is now effectively your conduit to generating this data, which you then use for ads. So like organic social media, in my opinion, on its own, does not work. It's crapshoot for making money. There's no way, it just cannot happen where you can create content and then like say, this is going to make me X amount of dollars every month. Can't do it. There's no way to do that. However, that does not mean it's not important, because with the advent of audiences and custom audiences, when you make your videos, you can create an audience. I like that one. The video one is a great example, right? You've got people, there's a way that you can track people that watch it for let's say your video is a minute long. Let's use a big number, for example. You can track people that watch it for 3 seconds and leave. And then 25%. So what's that? 15 seconds and then leave. 50%, 30 seconds, and then leave. 75%, 90%, right? You can silo off every bit of that, right? So the video now, all it really does is it becomes a conduit for data. And to capture that data and use that data to make money in a replicable way, you need this. That's where both sides come in. So literally, I've been doing it since 2011, before this existed, right? And I didn't think about it that way. But over the years, effectively, what I've learned is that organic social media exists now to feed the algorithm, so to speak, feed the data, get those people in an audience so you could turn around and remarket to them and sell. And then on that, you could say, I spent $1,000 from April 1st to April 30th, and I made $2,000. And that's the circle there. That's the flow chart. So they're different, but they are intimately intertwined. But again, this is what makes it work.
Do you have a link for hiring versus learning?
I did that. Well, that is a link to the class, but yeah, sure.
I have a question. Actually, I have two. So the first one is about ad costs, your minimal ad costs for Facebook. Can you elaborate?
Minimum? It's $1 a day. If you wanted to do that, which, by the way, I'm not opposed to. If you take the class and learn from me, and you don't feel comfortable spending more than $1 a day, I'd spend $1 a day, with $30 a month.
Okay.
So that's the minimum. There's no maximum, but that's the minimum.
Okay, great. The second one is around the type of businesses. I always see shops, like retail shops, on social media. My business is highly regulated, service industry.
What regulated? What industry?
SEC.
Okay. You can do financial. Have you never seen a financial ad?
I have.
Financial service? Yeah. You again, that's funny.
And I've used it, but organically.
No, you can run ads, but I didn't get into this.
Okay.
Another part of the Meta Business Manager, okay, is what we call, there's domain verification and there's business verification. So in regulated industries, there are certain little quirks and little unique nuggets that you have to do in order to advertise. But at the end of the day, you can advertise. There are very few blanket prohibitions, right? Porn is one. Hard drugs is one, but not all drugs, to be honest with you. Like, that's kind of like a influx type of thing. Like, when I started, weed was absolutely prohibited, but now they're kind of opening it up, right, as the country changes. So there's very, very, very few outright prohibitions for ads, and financial services is not one of them. Not one of them. You can advertise financial services. All right.
I love the answer of $1 a day, because we want to keep feeding the system. Essentially, what happens every time you stop and then start again is you're retraining the system, which can really slow things down. So at a minimum, yes, the answer is $1 a month. But as I just explained to Ron, we have weekly calls set up with Meta Business Manager Marketing Specialist, if that's a title. and they have more or less, and I mean it like they're like read between the lines here because we can't document this, but they have more or less told us that $1,000 a month is the minimum spend that you should be putting into the system.
That depends on geography.
Well,
is what I'm learning too. Like,
right.
let's for example, if you only want Fayette County, you don't need $1,000 a month. The $1,000 a month is really kind of a unrestricted national geography to make any kind of dent. And that's absolutely correct.
Okay,
it's true.
There you go.
You know, but if you want Fayette County, and again, but I want to focus on the first, but the first point is even more important. In so far as the starting and stopping. If nothing else happens today, if you take nothing away from this, right? I'm going to say unequivocally that every single business owner, including ones of themselves, right? Services, products, does not matter. The first word I used at the beginning was indispensable. Okay, I unequivocally am telling you, this needs to be a everyday line item on your wherever you want to put it, expenses, investments, whatever on your book, every single day for as long as you're in business. It's not a jump in, jump out product. It's every day, just like keeping the lights on is every day. That's how important I think it is. So what Jason was saying was, right? We would help you find your budget. You find your budget. Let's say you're going to do $500 a month. Great, right? Things get a little wonky, the whole 9 yards. Do not turn it off. Knock that down to $2 a day. Figure out what's going on and then dump it back up. Don't stop. Like, this should never. The companies in the world right now, big ones, like, there's not a single minute that goes by in life where they are not advertising. Not 1 minute. They never turn it off. Ever. And neither should you. And especially it's something where they give you the opportunity to spend $1 a day just to collect data, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? You'll never turn it off. It should never go off. So if anything, I feel like there's just, I know we're after 10 o'clock, so I don't want to keep this going because literally Friday will be 9 to 5 with a break for lunch, but otherwise it's a jam-packed day. There's lots of information. But a question that was asked to me that I want to make sure you all understand is that to set up the Meta Business Manager, you go to business.facebook.com, you set it up. There is no fee to set up the Meta Business Manager. The product is free. Facebook, This is all free.
For a professional, to set up the Meta Business Manager has a cost. And to come to our class on Friday where he guides you to set it up, there is a cost. But to actually set it up, there is no cost.
The only cost is ads. Every single one of these products.
And then I just want to take that comment a step further to say that the pixel that you create from within the Meta Business Manager also does not have a cost.
Never.
So putting $1 into the machine every day, the pixel is going to track visitors and all the things. It's going to do its job, but it's not going to allow you to reach that audience until you start putting money in the machine. And as soon as you take that money out of the machine and pause it, whether it's for a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever, you put money back in and it's got to start relearning who your audience is again. The data is still there.
Learning is where the learning is where like half the value comes in. The more data, the more constant data you feed the machine, the better it gets. So literally, like if people were going to hire Cote Media to run your ads, I've literally come to a place where one of my first questions I ask you as to whether I can take you on as a client is, are you ready to do this for a year minimum without missing a day? Like, and then if you've got to think about that, we're going to help you find that budget. But I don't want to work for a month, 3 months, 6 months. We're in this for the long haul. Because again, I know that the more you feed the more uninterrupted you feed the algorithm, the better the results become. That's where we start getting 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6. I got ads running right now that are 9 times ROAS. Spend $100 making $900. Spend $1,000 making $9,000. On Amazon, I got 7.5, 8 times ROAS. But this is a guy who has advertised every single day. We're going into year 3. He's never missed a day. Right? He ups it at the holidays, but then like in the middle of February when nothing's going on, we're spending him several $1,000s a month. Never misses a day. And he hasn't for 2.5 years now. That's why that happens. That does not happen in month 2. You see what I'm saying? Sorry.
No, amazing. Have I ever given you a 1 million cups mug? Because I left them in the car thinking that you would have already had one.
I'm pretty sure I have a couple bucks.
All right.
I'll take it over.
Well, There you go.
I'll give it away. Everybody
Our
got a mug?
presenters always have get a mug, and I left it in the car because I assumed he already had one, but he wants to give it away to somebody. So I don't know how you want to run that raffle. But I actually have something else to give away today, too. After this, my team is going over to Trilith to do the studio tour, and I have 3 paid-for spots that are open because of team members who are sick. So we have to be at Rome at Trilith at 10:45 for an 11 o'clock start. It shouldn't be more than an hour. I've got 3 seats. Anybody want to join us? You want to come? 1, 2, 3, boom. All right, come see me after so we can just make sure that we're set. But yeah, there we go. That was easy. Awesome. I love not wasting money, so I'm glad that you're coming. Awesome. Well, give Russ a round of applause. An extra loud round of applause for the coffee each week. And we hope to see you at the Meta Business Manager class on Friday. But if not, I'll see you guys all here next Wednesday. Thank you.
Yeah. I got gotten good at this part. Finding the right tape.